Now we get back. What's up, everybody? Anthony here, Reflection Concept, reflectionconcept.com. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I want to talk about two topics. Kind of wrap into one here. It always wraps back to creativity, right? I talk a lot about bass on this channel, talk a little bit about art on this channel. All of that stuff is under the umbrella of creativity, right? So the two topics I want to kind of get to in this video: having a sound, having an original sound, sounding like you, me sounding like me. We all sound like our heroes, but how much of our heroes do we grab? How do we grab it? How do we interpret that? How do we turn that around into sounding like us? Sonically, phrasing wise, all those things play a part. Today I really want to have it under the lens of effects pedals, right? And I also want to talk about using effects and using your mood, having some emotional connection to the sounds you pick and how you play, right? So, before I forget, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little red, I think it's red still, subscribe button, right? I want to get this channel over 1,000 followers, and every one of you that does that goes a long way. It's a very free and easy way to support what I'm doing here. Another way to support what I do is to check out my website, which is reflectionconcept.com. You can see my artwork over there, photography. There's links to all of my music. My music is available on all of the streaming platforms. Just search my name, Anthony Pecora. I have 2 singles, Alpha Negative and Don't Let Me Lie to You, and 1 EP. And what is that EP called? It is called Interpretation and Simulations. Check that stuff out. Pretty cool music. I think so. I played all the instruments on it. Blah, 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 blah. Check out the website, reflectionconcept.com. You can get to it all there. Let's stick to the video. It's so easy for me to get off track. So, sound. Having an original sound. And I'm really, really looking at this through effects pedals. Effects pedals are a big topic right now in the bass community because there's a new one that's out there. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, and it looks incredible. And I'm hearing nothing bad about it, and I wouldn't expect to. That's that new MXR bass synth pedal. And the names attached to it, namely Ian Martin Allison, tell me right away it's amazing, and all the sounds sound amazing. Ian has really become a beacon in the bass industry. He's a tastemaker. He's a great player. He's a great educator, at least from what I could gather. And sonically, he's really, really strong at developing sounds. You've probably seen his videos with Scott's Bass Lessons where they recreate sounds really quickly. It's pretty astonishing how close he can get with some of the tools, whether it be the HX Stomp or using effects pedals. But as soon as I saw and heard his take on some of those synth sounds on the MXR, I'm like, everyone's gonna buy this, because we've all wanted some of those synth sounds. I've gotten close sometimes, but it's hard. So Ian's really dialed in with that. But it led me to the topic of, well, kind of two things on that front, right? Is you're seeing all these great players. They sound amazing playing this, right? But I feel like a lot of times when you get some of those pedals in mere mortals' hands, like myself, we don't sound that good. But I guess that's case in point all the time. We can listen to Pino all day, but it's like, do we really, really sound just like Pino? From my vantage point, and at least in my experience, I don't. But nonetheless, you're with those pedals, with any pedal, right? And I was referencing that MXR, but we could really talk about it with any pedal. When I get a pedal, I want to dive deep. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to play a couple things. I'm going to hear some sounds right out of the box. But what I want to do is create something that hopefully will be unique to me. Hopefully it will be inspiring to me, right? Because I don't want to go out and just sound like everybody else, like with that synth pedal. Now everyone's going to have those preset sounds on there, and they sound like they're killer killer sounds. I'll say this one word of caution. No one is probably listening to me, and that's fine. I've been dealing with synth pedals for a long time, and I haven't played that one yet, fully admit. But I think a lot of people are going to be not in for a rude awakening, but coming to the realization how much their technique, left hand, right hand, play in how a lot of those synth sounds actually come out. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to see people wanting to use those sounds in inappropriate musical situations at first. Be careful with that stuff, guys. Just because you got some cool sounds doesn't mean you need to throw it into every single musical situation. I'm only saying this from personal experience. Lord knows when I got the first Boss SY100 back in the day, or SY1, actually is probably what it was, or SY3. Man, I was trying to like put that in so many places it just didn't belong. Maybe that's just me. I think we're a wiser bass playing society now in 2025, right? But like find a sound that's original to you. And, you know, don't forget about the things that you already have. Don't forget about the stuff that's currently in your arsenal. You can make new sounds with that. You can make cool sounds with that. Explore it. You can extrapolate this out to any instrument and really in any creative discipline. Cameras. I love cameras, right? I have a few nice ones. I'm recording on a Fujifilm XS20 right now. Not my favorite. Have a new Sony coming in hopefully shortly. But I got one first, and I realized its pros and cons. But I was starting to go down the rabbit hole of I need this, I need this, I need this. I was going to buy 3 camera, No, get one, explore with it. Trust me, it should be good enough. This is good enough, right? I'm going to make some small improvements. Lighting. My lighting, I think, has improved over time, but I started with one cheap light. Then I got a second light. It's a little more expensive. Now I got a nice spotlight up coming over here. So now I have a nice 3-light system going on here, right? But it started with just one light. We all can obsess over all of the things we don't have. And in doing that, we forget about the things that we do have. So let me grab my bass. Got the trusty Modulus Genesis 5-string over here. Now, in the wake of missing out on an MXR pedal and thinking now everything I have sucks because I don't have that pedal, it's easy to do. It made me sit down and be like, I want to create some new sounds out of the stuff that I have. And I don't even want to think about creating new synth sounds. Who are we kidding? I'm going to get that pedal. Like, I know me. I want that pedal. I want all those Greg Phillinganes sounds. Like, I gotta have those, no doubt. And I've been chasing it for years, and that pedal's gonna make it really easy to grab some of that stuff. But I'll also, mark my words, make some time to develop some of my own presets in that and some of my own sounds that I'll use. But it led me down. I said, okay, cool. Let's explore. Let's make some sounds. Let's grab a bass that we don't play all the time. Let's tweak it. Check this out. This is the clean sound. This doesn't particularly sound good clean. I'm going to show it anyway there. Sounds good, but it's like not my typical bass sound. I'm all the way on the bridge pickup. I got bass cut. I got treble boosted. I got mid-range boosted. If we turn bass back to normal, I got it cut because I want to just explore some sound. So I've been working on this envelope sound for quite some time in the HX Stomp, and I had it down to a nice spot. But then I put a few tweaks on the filter and onto the phase. And what did I add to it? Oh, I swapped out the cab sim. So I went back to an Ampeg 410 cab on this. But check out this envelope sound is so killing to me that it made me forget all about the stuff that I don't have, because I have this. it's a cool, like funky envelope filter, right? And then what I'm kind of still experimenting with is this amount of drive on it. And I don't love it where it's at, but I want to just show this kind of in real time with you here. It's reminding me of digital breakup, like bad board breakup on that. Now, if I increase that drive a little bit, where are we at? Let's crank the drive. Here's with it off. But I'm trying to find something that inspires me as to add a little snapshot onto that clean filter and dry filter. But I'm really loving this clean sound. So again, here we go, clean. With the way I want this bass to sound right now, again, which is intentionally a little bit thin. Because again, it kind of inspired me to play a certain way. Here's with the envelope. And on the topic of synth, I have this like kind of synthy sound in here too that I've been messing with. Has a little touch of that envelope on it. Not quite synthy, right? But not having that MXR pedal again in the arsenal yet, which it will be, made me think like, what kind of cool synth sound can I create in the HX Stomp on my own? And I started to do it, but then I just kind of ended up into this sound, which was inspiring to me, right? So really the point that I'm making here for the first point is find a sound. Don't worry about the gear that you don't have, right? Buy gear, experiment around, but that's not the answer for everything, right? Just create a sound, be yourself. Now, when I had this envelope, I'll go back to this envelope sound. So I flipped some reverb on it. And a little bit of overdrive. Externally from the HX Stomp with a pork loin. I found myself playing differently, right? Obviously, reverb, you're adding length onto the note. You know, it feels a lot different than. When I heard that, now I'm starting to be inspired by this sound, right? And it's going to make me play a different way. So I was like, cool. And when I was doing that, like I was trying to, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was creating a sound that was kind of my mood for the day. I wasn't feeling up, you know, everything felt down, not depressed or down like that, not downtrodden or not feeling well. It just, I didn't feel super energized that evening that I was doing this. So I wanted to create a song, a little track to go over on my Instagram page, which again, Anthony.Pecora on Instagram. You can see this, like a little 1.5-minute clip of me playing this, and a much more in the moment, because my mood right now is different. I'm sitting here in front of a camera talking. I feel energized because I'm doing it. So I'm not saying I'm faking it, but I'm I'm trying to prove a point, a sonic example of it. But over on my Instagram page, you can hear a very real example of like me playing to the mood of that night and me creating a sound based around my mood that night, right? And I have that track here without bass in it. So play the track by itself. Actually, I'm going to go back to clean sound real quick with nothing on it, right? Now you'll hear, I'm going to play just clean through this, right? And I wasn't trying to play bass lines, right? It's more of a, for lack of a better term, or to the best of my ability, like soloing. Cool. So that's playing, again, clean to it. But I felt more expressive when I put that envelope on. So here's the envelope. So that's just envelope on. But then as I started to layer up to reverb and then with some overdrive, the note choice, the note length, the expression felt more in line with my emotions for the day. And I wasn't thinking in those terms. I wasn't saying, I need a song, I need a sound that matches my emotion. I was naturally doing it. And then in listening back to it, I was like, oh, wow, I matched that, right? Unknowingly, subconsciously, I did that, which is leads me to, well, I think it might be a cool topic. It might tie into helping someone have an original sound if you're paying attention or not paying attention, but being aware of the practice of ways to be kind of in tune creatively with what you're feeling emotionally for the day, or what allowing that to inform what you want to hear out of yourself as a musician. So I'm going to start that track over, right? And I'm going to add the reverb onto it and some of that overdrive. If I go back to clean playing, well, the overdrive helps. Let's take that off. So, clean. It's fine, but it's kind of flat. Now we get back. So, it sounds obvious. Throwing reverb on, putting some saturation from overdrive is going to make you extend your notes out longer. It's adding sustain in both ways, but understanding why you want to hear that and how you're going, allowing yourself to play ever so slightly differently technique-wise, phrasing-wise, because you have those sounds, and why did you get to those sounds? I think it's important to be aware of that stuff. So that's really the two topics. I want you out there to sound original. I want you to try to sound original. In a sea of content creators, myself included, I'm in that camp very minimally, but I'm in that camp. In a sea of everyone creating sounds, take time to explore, especially with pedals, because they can cover up some of your sensitivities and some of your voice. They can also extend your voice when it comes to sounding original. And I think that's very, very important. And allow yourself to be emotionally aware of how you're feeling in any particular day or any particular time, especially when you're feeling stuck musically. Allow your day, your mood, your outlook on things to inform the sounds that you want to hear and how you play. I think it's a surefire way to increase, or at least to increase the harnessing of the creativity. Thanks for checking out the video. My name's Anthony, Reflection Concept, reflectionconcept.com. Please hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next time.